Hello there, friends and sane persons. Let's try this again. Welcome to another episode of Wednesday Whimsy. My name is Kyle, and Wednesday Whimsy is a short show I do every Wednesday evening where I talk about a board game, a top 10 list, or some other board game-related topic, whatever I happen to be in the mood for at that moment. And right now, it is time for our show within a show, our regular feature on Wednesday Whimsy, the quarterly Quountdown, the short show I do at the end of every calendar quarter, the last Wednesday, where I talk about the top 5 new-to-me games that I experienced that quarter. Well, today is New Year's Eve, the last day of 2025, so it happens to be a Wednesday, and that is the day for Quarterly Quountdown. So let's talk about it. This has been a weird quarter, because I prepared this list kind of at the beginning of December, just kind of working up to it, and then I played a whole bunch of new games that made me rethink my list. So it's been really a weird quarter. But it's been a great quarter. A lot of great games have come out. So we'll just talk about them real quick, and I'll tell you what we're talking about here. So let's go with my number 5. All right, my number 5 is a short, small game from a publisher who's never made anything short or small in their existence. I'm finding the wrong version of this. Let me see if well, it's all right. This will work. This game is called Dragons of Etchinstone. So Dragons of Etchinstone, I might actually do a regular Wednesday Whimsy about it because it's such a weird little game. It is a game that you are supposed to be able to play in your hand. In fact, it says no table needed. What you're doing is you are some sort of wizardy creature or person, and you are trying to fight off some dragons. There's some variants where you can play the role of the dragons themselves, or some more wizards with more personality. But really, what you're doing here is you have this deck of cards in your hand, and you're going to be drawing 4 at a time, and then using them to take on some sort of a challenge. And if you beat the challenge, you get to upgrade some cards. If you fail to beat the challenge, and this is the old, I think, print and play version. Chip Theory Games recently reprinted it, and the new version is what I've played. There's also the Felines of Fetch and Bone, which is a silly, lighthearted take on it with dogs and cats. And these are not the cards in the version I've played, but you can kind of get a sense. You're going to hold them, and they're multi-use. Oh, those are Pokemon. They're multi-use cards, and you're using them for different abilities. You're going to make one that's your element, one that's your attack, and one that's your boost, and you're trying to beat certain thresholds. You're going to play through the deck 4 times, and then you're going to take on the big boss, which is a dragon of Etchinstone. And if you win the game. That's how it is. It is a solo game. It takes about 20 or so minutes to play, and literally you can play it anywhere because you don't even need to set the cards down. Play it in your hand, hold the deck in one hand, the cards you're using in another. Okay, it helps to set it down to shuffle, but it's great. I was really pleasantly surprised by it. It's I've played some games that you play in your hand before, but this is definitely the best of them. Dragons of Etchinstone. All right, let's go on to my number 4. Here's number 4. All right, number 4 is the newest to the list. It came in just this week. And it's also the next game I'm going to be playing because I have it set up upstairs. I didn't have time to. I was going to play another solo round of it. It's the game is called Forestry. This is from Pink Troubadour. They've done one other big game, and I think a small one or two. It's a game about the lumber industry, which really sounds boring. And honestly, I probably wouldn't have gone for it based on the box. But this publisher, the other game was Galileo Galilei, and it was really good. And so I was curious to try this new one. It is a big game. It is a, heavy Euro-y type game. And you are a forestry person, and you're trying to chop down trees, process those trees, use them to build various wooden things, but also replant the forest so that there's more to harvest next time. It is really a kind of an efficiency puzzle. Every round you've got 3 guaranteed actions, but you can upgrade it so that you can get 4 or 5. I think it's possible to get 6, but I've never seen it done. Um, you can also use money to buy extra actions, so you're trying to maximize the amount of stuff you can do in the game. And a lot of it is kind of building your own scoring. You're going to pick what you want to score, and that's really quite fascinating. Lots of contract fulfillment, some tactical movement around this board, and then, managing your resources as efficiently as possible. Really an interesting game. It sounds kind of dry, but I guess it's more like dried and seasoned wood. Anyway, I really like Forestry. It is the newest to my list, I said, but I'm eager to play it again here in just a few minutes when I finish this episode. So there you have it, my number 4. Forestry. And I didn't even do that intentionally. All right, let's go on to my number 3. All right, number 3 is one I believe I did a full episode at Wednesday Whimsy on. This is a really fascinating game. In fact, this was my number 1 when I did the list the first time, but a couple other things kind of edged it out. It's now the number 3, and that is Grim Coven. Grim Coven is just such an interesting game. It is a Bloodborne style game. It is you're going to be some hunters, and you're taking on some sort of a big bad monster, and you're trying to beat it. And there's a couple that come with the game. This is a character you can sort of morph into these evil creatures as well. It's a lot like a combination of a boss battler, a primal, let's say primal, and Cthulhu Death May Die. That's really what it is. You're trying to beat back these monsters, use your resources as efficiently as possible. You've got these unique characters, and it's kind of a pain to set up, but I'm working on a 3D insert that'll hopefully make that a little easier. But it's really smooth to play, really interesting, lots of fun, and a really good challenge. I really was impressed by Grim Coven. It made it into my top 100, even though it was new to the list, and it definitely is one of the best new to me games from this quarter. There you have it, my number 3, Grim Coven. Let's go to number 2. All right, a game I was not expecting. In fact, I didn't know if I'd even get a copy of it, but I did, and I played it 15, 16 times last weekend because it's so much fun. This game is my number 2, Rove. So Rove, I saw him talk about it online, and it really, honestly, this game is Gloomhaven 2.0. That's really what this is. It's not the same designer, but some people who've apparently done, Gloomhaven fan expansions in the past. But this game really takes everything that you like about Gloomhaven and throws away a lot of the things that you don't. It's you're going on this adventure. You're this interesting character, and you are using your special abilities. You can use 2 abilities and 1 card each round. That's kind of a fixed limit. And then it's how you're going to manipulate them. And then you're doing this tactical combat as you move around and fight enemies, or try and run to a certain spot, or accomplish some sort of a quest. Again, this looks like it's in a map book, so you don't have all the Gloomhaven tiles, which were annoying. Lots of the weirdness of Gloomhaven has been thrown out, but the pieces look like Gloomhaven pieces. The abilities feel like Gloomhaven abilities. This game is everything that Gloomhaven, which I really love, wishes that it were. So I'm really impressed with this. I have not finished the campaign. In fact, my only real complaint, well, there's some randomness in this dice rolling element, but my only real complaint is that it's a very long campaign. I think it's 25 or so scenarios, and it's I played through a good portion of them, more than half, and I will finish it. But it, after a while, it's time to take a break and try something else. So I really like Rove, though. Don't sleep on this one. If you like Gloomhaven, this is for you. If you didn't try Gloomhaven because you thought it was too much, Jaws of the Lion might be a better entry point. But this one's really good. Oh, one thing that's nice about it, though, is that it's got this great storage system, rather than you having to kind of go with an off-the-shelf one that you buy from a third-party provider. So it's really just playable. It's a game that you can just get in and enjoy. Also, I believe you can play the scenario standalone if you don't feel like doing the campaign. I'm doing the campaign because I want to see where it goes, but it's nice to know that you don't have to as well. Anyway, this game, I think they just did another Kickstarter for it, or GameFound, or whatever it was. So hopefully it'll be coming, back out. I bought a used copy from somebody here locally, and really am glad that I did, because it is my number 2 game of the quarter. That is Rove. And finally, my most recently played game, my number 1. My most recently played game, the game I played right before coming down, well, I had my dinner first, but right before coming down is my number 1, Tend. Tend, I have not yet done a Wednesday Whimsy on it. Stand by, watch this space. Tend, it gets a 10 out of 10. As you can see, this is the best roll and write style game out there. Okay, you're not really rolling. Well, you roll those dice. But this game really has everything. It's got 4 basic actions, but it lets you manipulate those 4 actions in interesting ways. There are ways to interact with your neighbors. There are ways to, you can upgrade stuff. You can focus on 1 or 2 things. You can diversify. There's this scratch card, and I hate scratch cards, but this one's high quality. And also there's an electronic version if you just want to use an electronic version. There's so much to try in this game. Ultimately, your goal is to fill in this cargo sheet and have it full, because that's going to get you a big bucket of points. But getting there is so much fun. I really have been impressed with Tend. Now, I got the sort of super deluxe huge box version for 12 players. I don't think I'm going to play Tend with 12 players, but as a 2 or 3 player game, ooh, this is real good. It's also pretty good solo. There's not, it's just a beat your high score variant, but it's really fun even then. It's just a game I can sit down and play. And I love games that I can just sit down and play because I want to play them. It's also really easy to learn. I'll tell you, the rule book was rough. I had a hard time. This neighbor concept, it was very stodgily described, I guess I would say. But once I got a hang of it, this game just clicked for me. I'm really impressed with it. It is definitely the best game from Ivy Studios. No, that's not saying that's not shade. They've had other good games, but this is clearly their masterpiece, at least for now. I'd love more. There's a lot here though. I've played it several times and done something different every time, and always had a good time with it. I really enjoy Tend. It probably will make it. I think it might even have been in my top 100 when I recently did it. But no, it was in my top 25, 2025. But I hadn't played it when I did the top 100. But it probably would have made it if if I had actually played it before I did the list. Tend is fantastic. Do not sleep on this one. Go check it out. Tend is the best game I played this quarter. And that is going to bring us kind of to the end of 2025. I might do a sort of a one last look back at 2025 early in January. I don't know. I've done a lot of retrospectives here in the last couple of weeks. I might want to just talk about some games like Tend or some other ones that I've been playing for a while. But we'll see. It's been a fun year. I think I got one Wednesday Whimsy every week this year, so I'm proud of myself. And yeah, so Happy New Year to you all. I hope you're not watching this and that you're out celebrating. Come back and watch this later. But until then, I'm going to wish you safe travels, courage when you need it, and I hope to see you back again every Wednesday next year for another episode of Wednesday Whimsy. Bye-bye.